Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and it's Paydirt battle time, and it's also Australian month. For the entire month of January 2024, I am only going to be reviewing Australian Paydirts. Now, I did this back in 2023 as well, and most of the bags of Paydirt weren't very good, but there was one seller that I really enjoyed and I recommended for the rest of the year, and that was Life W Gold. Now, later in the year, I believe it was in July or August, I happened to get my hands on a new Australian seller's Paydirt, and that was Rockin' Ore. And I really enjoyed their Paydirt as well, and I started recommending them. So I figured, why not start off 2024 battling the two Australian Paydirts that I actually recommended through all of 2023. And that's Life W Gold versus Rockin' Ore. Now, these are both half-gram bags of Paydirt because Rockin' Ore only sells half-gram bags. Life W Gold does sell half grams, 1 grams, and I believe they also sell quarter grams. But to make this battle fair, we're going to be doing half-gram bags from each of them. Now, before I get too far into this video, I need to do a shout out to my Patreon members because it's only because of them that I can do things like this and order a lot of Paydirts from foreign countries because it is extremely expensive to ship. And then having it shipped to a secret shopper or reshipping it to me, it's a very expensive endeavor. So I need to thank all my Patreon members, including my newest ones, Kathy Whiteside, Just Be Cool, and David Desautel. So thank you three very much for joining my Patreon page, and thank you to all my Patreon members who make these videos possible. And if you want to help support this channel, you can go check me out at patreon.com/Miller Prospecting. I also need to thank all my subscribers who watch all of my videos, so thank you all very much as well. And to thank the people who watch my videos or support me on Patreon, I'm going to be giving away a gold nugget. And not just any gold nugget, but an Australian bark gold nugget. This one, to be exact. It is 3.8 grams of beautiful Australian gold. And this was donated to my channel by Clint and Cheryl. So thank you both very much, Clint and Cheryl, for donating that to my channel. And at the end of this month, on January 30th, I'm going to be giving it away. Now, everyone will have multiple chances to enter this drawing. I will be posting 4 videos in January. In each one of those videos, you will be able to leave a comment. And on January 30th, during my live show, I will go back to all 4 of the videos and pull one name out of each comment and add them to a wheel. And I will also be going on Patreon, where I will have the same video posted and be pulling 2 names of comments from those posts. So in total, there will be 12 entries added to a wheel. I will spin that wheel, the random wheel of luck, and one person will win this 3.8 gram Australian gold nugget. So all you need to do to enter is go below, leave a comment, and in that comment include hashtag Australia. Now again, you must be either a subscriber or a Patreon member. Now I will be posting this exact same video on Patreon, and I will have Patreon members leave comments on that video, and I will be pulling 2 names from that video. 1 name from this YouTube video and 2 from my Patreon page. So if you're a Patreon member, you will get 3 times the chances to win this gold nugget. I will also have all the rules at the end of this video, so in case that was a little bit complicated, you can just go to the end of this video and I'll have all the rules listed there, as well as below in the info section of this video. And now let's get back to the Paydirt battle by flashing up both descriptions for the Life W Gold and the Rockin' Ore, and check out those bags a little bit closer. As you saw, neither one of these Paydirts have very good descriptions, but they both do tell you that you're getting a half a gram of gold and how much material you're getting. Now for the Life W Gold, it's supposed to be 400 grams. And there we go, 410 grams, while the Rockin' Ore is supposed to be 250. And 256, 410. Let's open these up, check them out a little bit closer. Cut the Life W Gold. I will rinse out both these before the end of the video to make sure no gold was trapped in them. Now you can tell these are both from different regions of Australia, definitely. This is the red typical material you'll see from a lot of Australian paydirts. This is what it looked like the last time I panned it out. And this is the rockin' ore. It tends to be a little bit heavier material, more tan. This is stuff you're probably used to here. But we'll have to go through them. But first, let's check them for magnetite. We'll check the rockin' ore. Now, the rockin' ore, it's a good bet of magnetics. And it's not very dark magnetics. This looks like it's going to be some dusty material. Not as much. More material, less magnetics. Again, I think both of these are only going to be difficult to pan out because they're going to be so dusty. But the only way to really find out is to pan them both out. So let's go do these one at a time and come back and see how much gold we found.
I'm going back to Australia. Just let me put my boots back on. Don't want to unpack and stay here too long. I'll just grab my bag and I'll be traveling on. Well, it's 15 minutes drive to Kansas City and a 3.5-hour flight to LA. 6 long hours in Tom Bradley Terminal. Then we're finally on our way. Going back to Australia. Just let me put my boots back on. Don't want to unpack and stay here too long. Just grab my bag and I'll be traveling on. Well, it's 15 hours flying time to Sydney. We'll arrive tomorrow plus 1 day. Wave at Hawaii and to Fiji. Crack a joke at the equator on our way. Well, the ocean there is calling out my name, like it always has and always will. Nothing's changed, I'm going back to Australia. Just let me put my boots back on. Don't want to unpack and stay here too long. Just grab my bag and I'll be traveling on. I'll just grab my bag and I'll be traveling on.
Well, finished painting everything out as you saw, and both of those bags were a little bit difficult, but we'll talk about that in a minute. For right now, let's show you the gold I found. And I did find gold in both bags, but unfortunately for the rockin' ore, I only found 2 pieces, 2 little pickers, while with the Life W gold, I did find a couple pieces. But we're going to weigh them both up to see how much we got, because both bags were guaranteed a 0.5 gram. And let's start with the Life W gold. And there we go, 0.555 grams. So nice number, nice round number of 555. And let's weigh up the 2 pieces of gold we found from rockin' ore. All right, all settled. 0.530 grams. So we did get over a 0.5 gram from both of them, just in different sizes. Now for both of these bags of Paydirt from Australia, The only real difficult part is how cloudy they make up the water. The Life W Gold, also the gold tends to be a little red stained, so it is a little bit harder to see when you've got a lot of red silt and the water has turned red. So the Life W Gold is a little bit harder to pan out, maybe a medium for a beginner panner, but for an advanced or expert panner, this is still going to be easy Paydirt to go through because there's not a lot of gold, and the only difficult part really is the cloudiness. Now for the rockin' ore, I think it's probably going to be a medium for a beginner panner, and again, easy for advanced or expert. And while there's only 2 pieces of gold, you don't know that's going to always be the case. It might have more gold in the next time, but again, it's mostly because of the water being so cloudy. But now let's go figure out who won this battle. Alright, finished calculating my ROIs, writing out my reviews, and let's see who won this battle. Now, I had my secret shopper buy 2 bags of Paydirt from each one of these sellers, Life W Gold and Rockin' Ore, and both bags from both sellers were supposed to contain 0.5 grams of gold each. Now, I am going to be battling 1 bag from each in today's video, and on Tuesday, I will be going through 1 bag from each again to see if any of the numbers change. And then I will post an updated review to see if anything changed overall. Now for the Life W Gold, the cost of the 2 bags was $162.20 in AUD. In USD, it was $107.86, making the price per bag $53.93, and this does include shipping. Now, typically in the past, I didn't include shipping because I figured anyone from the United States that really wanted to try Australian Paydirt was willing to take that hit and pay for shipping and not count it as our ROI. But in this month, for this video, and all videos in the future for foreign Paydirts, I will be including the shipping because it's a true ROI, and then the ROI will probably be lower, and then it's up to you to decide if you're willing to take a lower ROI to try some Australian Paydirt. Now for the Rockin' Ore, the total for both bags shipped was $110 AUD or $73.15 USD, making each bag cost $36.58. For the gold spot on these bags of Paydirt, I always typically try to have my secret shopper order them on the exact same day so they will have the same gold spot, but unfortunately I didn't hear back from Life W Gold, and Rockin' Ore tends to sell out very, very quickly, so my secret shopper didn't get to buy the Life W Gold Paydirt until a few days later, and the gold spot went up a lot. So for Life W Gold, the gold spot was $63.59, but for Rockin' Ore, it was only $61.92. Now with the Life W Gold, I found 0.555 grams of gold worth $35.29. With the Rockin' Ore, I found 0.53 grams of gold worth $32.82. Making my ROI for Life W Gold 65.44%, or on my scale, a 6.5. So it's not a horrible ROI, considering that I think it was $40 AUD to ship it to the United States, so it had a very high shipping cost, and 65% isn't horrible. Now for the Rockin' Ore, I actually got an ROI of 89.72%, or on my score, a 9. So a great ROI. I think in my last review of them, I got it to, I think it was a 90% as well, or 100% if you counted that the fact that the gold is bigger size and you could probably sell it for a little bit of a premium. But I will take a 90%, 89.72 to be technical, but a 9.0 any day of the week from Australian Paydirt. For fun factor, I'm going to leave the Life W Gold the exact same at 6.5. It didn't do anything to blow me away. Now, typically I'd want to add a whole bunch of points because it's Australian Paydirt, but again, I'm going to review this as if it was an Australian Paydirt and just give it the same fun factor of a 6.5. Now for Rockin' Ore, I'm actually going to drop them a whole bunch down to a 7.0 because I really didn't like the fact that, again, it was only 2 pieces of gold. And I actually even complained about this in my last review. I kind of gave it to him because it wasn't in the description, but he actually replied to me and said in the future he was going to try to change it up. But again, just getting 2 pieces of gold, it's not as much fun. You're getting a really good ROI, but fun factor is just going to take a hit, so 7.0. For Paydirt description, Life W Gold is going to get a 6, and Rockin' Ore is only going to get a 4. Quantity and packaging, Life W Gold is getting a 9.5, 10 for quantity, and a 9 for packaging. They both come in the exact same coffee bags, but the Life W Gold was double bagged. So Life W Gold is getting a little bit higher score of a 9.5, while Rockin' Ore is only going to get a 9. And lastly, for customer service and shipping, Life W Gold is going to get a 9, and Rockin' Ore is going to get 10. Both of them had really fast shipping, but the customer service with Life and Gold was a little bit slower. I actually had to have my secret shopper email them twice to get them to send an invoice, and then even getting the invoice was a little bit slow. So they're only getting a 9, while Rockin' Ore is getting a 10. Giving me total scores of 7.5 for Life W Gold and a 7.8 for Rockin' Ore, and giving them the win. Now, would I order or recommend either one of these bags of Paydirt again? And I think I would. Now, with the Life W Gold, they are not currently accepting orders on their website. You have to email them, get them to send you an invoice. So it is a little bit more difficult, but I think their Paydirt is a little bit more fun. Now, you're obviously not going to get a very high ROI. I think in my review of them last year, the ROI was much higher, but they raised their prices right after that, and that typically happens if you start getting a lot of business. So I would still recommend them, but no, you're not going to get as good of an ROI as you would have last year. Now, Rockin' Ore, again, I probably would recommend them, but again, I really hope they go to a 1 gram bag of Paydirt, because then I think then they could put in some more gold. I know it's gold that he mines himself, so a lot of times it's a lot harder if you're finding chunkier gold to fill a bag, but I think that would be solved with a 1 gram bag. But again, I will recommend both of them. If you're looking for something with some bigger pieces of gold that's easier to pan and a much higher ROI, then I would go with Rockin' Ore. If you want something that I think that's more authentic to Australia with that nice red dirt and the red stained gold, you will suffer with a lower ROI, I would go with Life W Gold. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Happy panning. And if you're not already a subscriber, think about hitting that subscribe button below.